Unoma Allen is not only the owner and the visionary behind the Soup Cafe, but she describes herself as a jack of all trades, and she really is. She's here with us today to share exactly how she did it. Please join us as we welcome one of my favorite people, Unoma Allen.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I am fantastic, actually. Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm good, I'm good. I actually haven't seen you for a while, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see you here
Well, now I know where you'll be.
So tell us, what was your inspiration for starting the Soup Cafe? I think I remembered when you did it that first time at a Christmas.
Yes.
That was right, yes, on that street by the circus. Yes, I remember.
You know your business,
yes.
Well, it all began from a child. Between the ages of 6 and 10, I knew what I wanted to be. I don't know if there's a natural desire within every human being to find their purpose. And it's just that my spirit was very much alive and well as a young person. So it always was encouraging me to figure out, what do you want to do? So in everything I did in life, believe it or not, I would say, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I would see various images on television around the society, and when I saw someone owning their own business, something jumped within me. I felt, that's it. Two things jumped within me, two areas: to be an entertainer and to own my own business. So all through my life, no one ever knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because in our setting, an entrepreneur is for someone, and they look down on it in years gone by, it's for someone who's not academically strong, so they fall into it as a way to earn a living because they can't do the accounts or the maths or the science or the history. So in decades gone by, in our small federation, that was the view. So I never told anyone, because I don't think people would have understood that's what I wanted to do. And so I've always looked through life as I went to university, high school, traveled. I always looked for an idea to pursue. That was it. So I did economics here as the front line, but in the background, it was always to own my own business. So it was just a matter of, what will that business be?
So the question is now, how did you decide on soup? Were there things before, or?
Oh yeah, I had many ideas, many. And I would always say, one of the gems in life is to have friends who are older than you and who are females. It's really, really important. I feel a successful woman needs to have either one or a group of females in her corner. And the older generation, you learn from them. Plus, they like to cook and they feed me. I don't like to cook. And I was able to bounce ideas off of them all the time. I pick up my phone and say, what about this idea? Two of them, Hazel Brooks, the first National Carnival Queen. Hello, Hazel. And Darlene Hodge, she is a member of the Baha'i faith locally. I used to talk to them all the time. Now, soup now. One of my side loves, Mimi would know, but this is new to you, is fitness. I admire a fit body, because I think it's the greatest work of art, the human body. And for someone to carve it in such a way that their muscle ratio is more than their fat ratio, it's a sight to behold. It's really beautiful. So I wanted to attain that before I left this earth. So I entered a swimsuit pageant. And as part of that swimsuit pageant, I had to eat 5 or 6 meals a day. I had to eat light. And one particular day, I didn't walk with my food. I was in town on 4th Street, and I thought, okay, let me run into this place and ask for a bowl of soup. And the lady said to me, today's Monday, come back Thursday, today is soup day. And as I left, I thought, well, why does soup have to be sold on a particular day of the week? And I thought, ding, 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 that's it. From since you were 6, you're looking for this business idea, you found it. And I wouldn't have found it if I didn't pursue my passion of trying to be fit. So I used the swimsuit show to be fit. And as a result of that, I found my business idea. I had no clue it would have come like that, but that's how it came. And because it came on 4th Street, I had to have the business located on 4th Street, which is ambitious, because rent in Bastille not cheap.
It is not
cheap. And that's why I feel that when you're a business owner, spirituality is extremely important. You have to be able to get in touch with that other side of you. How do you do that? That's for you to figure out, but it's through deep thinking from my point of view and reading. And you have to awaken that element within you, and that element helps to guide you and helps to bring opportunity your way.
You know, a plug a little before that. I understand that, obviously Mimi said that your business suffered like many others during the pandemic. And we were talking during the break about you were getting stuck in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So what can you tell us about those two things?
Yes, and my parents reside in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My father is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My mother is from Jamaica, but I was born and raised within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. They moved here to work. When my father moved here to work, and of course my mother said, all right, I'll come with you. A few years later, I was born. So my father has always had his connection with his country, and his wish was to return there after retirement. So that was the plan from a long time. So I visit them at least once a year. Well, they forced me to, because I'm so busy, they harassed me to. So I was actually supposed to go last January, but I kept pushing it back. Finally got there in March, the day I was supposed to leave to come back home, the day before the borders closed. So I was locked out all of 2020, and I returned, all of 2020, all of 2020, and I returned at the end of January this year.
Oh.
Wow.
So my business, the doors were closed, because I normally, the practice is, because we're so small, I don't have a staff that can manage, everything, a sized staff. So we normally close. So everybody gets holiday when I get holiday. So we normally close. So I never expected that it would have been closed for the entire year. Yes.
So can you tell us a bit of what that experience was? You're with your parents, so I guess you're happy to be with your parents.
Correct.
But at the same time, your business is closed.
Rent
that's a very long time.
Rent is adding up.
Expensive.
TDC on their end, but at least my workers were okay in terms of earning a job.
Great.
I organized things so that they could still earn a living, believe it or not. And it was.
Any silver linings?
Let me tell you something here. I mean, I know the time period was difficult for many all over the world. People lost family, friends, and loved ones. But can I say, for me, my truth, it was one of the best things that has ever happened to me.
Really?
It is. Boy, I'm going to tear up a bit. When you're a single individual running a business, at least for me, it's, and I guess because some people say I'm an alpha, so I take on a lot on my own. It's extremely difficult to do what I do. I help with the prepping, I help with the cooking, I do the shopping, I manage the finances, I have to figure out the marketing. If there's an issue maintenance-wise, I have to solve it or find someone to solve it. I don't have a car, so I catch a bus and walk to get my groceries, or take a taxi or something like that, or hire someone to just run down the road for me to do something. It's a lot. It's a lot. And before COVID, I had a vehicle. I've sold it since to help, generate some funds to restart the business. So it's a lot of work. I consistently don't get 8 hours sleep, considering that. And my body needed the rest. It absolutely needed the rest. And in the back of my mind, I was saying, my God, if you continue like this, when you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 40s, you're going to suffer. You are going to suffer. And I had to find a way. I couldn't figure out how I was going to do it. I had to find a way to relax. My gym attendance was stopping. I mean, it was not good. It's not good at all. And then COVID came. COVID allowed me to sleep. Oh my gosh. It allowed me to rest and to retool. So I know when I'm 85, I'm going to be like, woohoo, thank you for COVID. It has extended my life. In addition, what it did was allow me to think, because I didn't have the luxury of thinking as a business owner of what are we going to do next. We would always have conversations at the cafe, myself and my colleagues, always. What can we do? But I needed to be able to establish the direction, and my colleagues would say, okay, this is how we can do it. I needed to think, and I did not have the time to think as to what the business was going to do. And that time gave me time to think. It was beautiful. Yes, I had rent to pay like crazy. Yes, I had my mortgage to pay. I was not earning a living. I'm not working for government, so I don't have my genuine, my guaranteed salary coming in. It was difficult. There were moments when I would get up during my rest. I would get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I don't want to be up. But the anxiousness within me woke me up and told me, you need to worry. So it was difficult. It was mentally difficult, but at least at the same time, it was one of the greatest things that had happened to me. And it allowed me to restart the business, if you will. And a lot, what's available a lot now because of COVID? I said, look at oil. There are lots of funding available right now to help businesses retool and get themselves back on firm ground. This was never happening in my, when I started the business. I would always try to whisper to government officials, we need to have grants. If you're serious about wanting to
Small
grow
businesses, right.
businesses, you need to have grants. Because I had the luxury of doing a master's, and I did my thesis on developing venture capital within the OECS. And I saw how these developing countries, they would tell you, don't pay your reduce your civil service size, or don't pay for health, or don't, have a school meals program, you're running up your deficit. No, don't take them on. In the 1940s, after World War II, they threw a lot of money into growing small businesses, a lot of venture capital. And that's what we need to do, or find something equivalent to help us grow. Because we're not them. We are small, and nobody cares about giving us reparations. Grant money is important. I'm like, why aren't y'all having grant money? Why aren't y'all? And they were like, nice, nice girl. I know what I'm talking about. If you're serious, you have to not burden people with debt when they're starting out. Because if you're doing that, debt can be good because it can drive you. Because Lord, I got to pay. So I have to find creative ways to exist. But at the same time, you're holding someone back. You're holding a business back. But so there's a lot of grant funding out there right now for small businesses all over the world because of COVID. And I'm really happy for these businesses, myself included.
Quite naturally. We have, I guess, time for maybe one final question.
Sure.
And in talking to you during the break, I realized that you said that because you're a jack of all trades and because of your experience and your approach to life, there have been moments when other women have approached you. What can you tell us about that?
It's a great honor. Fear is a natural thing to any human being, but I think living in a smaller country where people are always in touch and seem to be open with telling you how to live your life, very much in a smaller country because of the community link we have with each other. So a lot of people consider others first before they consider pursuing what's natural to them. And I seem to be an individual who people want to come, women in particular, wish to come and speak to about whatever goals or dreams that they have to pursue, because they feel that I have a different point of view, and I've shown that in my living, and I would respect whatever they have to say and give them a sort of boost, if you will, when they want to pursue something. And I think that is the greatest honor ever. If I am someone whose purpose is to say, go for it. And when you fall, call me, and I'm going to tell you, go for it again. And when you fall again, call me, and I'll tell you to go for it. Because falling on your face and failure are the greatest lessons you can get. You can get wisdom from failure. So fail forward, as they say. Don't be afraid to do it.